Hello everyone and welcome back to another exciting edition of Boyographic, the show in which I, Matt the Gameboy, take you through the highs and lows of the Gameboy library, one card at a time. This week we're going to be wrapping up Mega May with, you guessed it, Mega Man 5. The year was 20XX. After constant battles with Dr. Wily's nefarious robot masters, Mega Man killers, and even the Doctor himself, it seemed that Rock could finally be at peace. But it seems that peace is a hard concept to grasp for an android lab assistant turned into Earth's only defense against a robot uprising. And if the threat doesn't come from Earth, it'll come from the stars. Overly dramatic intro, you say? Well, tell that to Minakuchi Engineering, the fine folks who brought us Wily's Revenge as well as Mega Man 3 and 4, who was certainly holding nothing back for Mega Man 5. Be that a plot, new characters, old favourites, and even their own spin on the Robot Master formula, Minakuchi was sure that their last outing of the Blue Bomber on the Nintendo Game Boy was gonna be a doozy. So, this game, much like Mega Man 4 before it, really likes its cutscenes. So much so that the first 10 minutes of this game show Mega Man coming up against Terra, an alien robot whose armour is impenetrable even to a fully charged Mega Buster. After making short work of Mega Man, Terra gets to work wreaking havoc across the planet with his fellow star droids. When Mega Man awakes hours later in Dr. Light's lab, the star droids have already conquered most of Earth's major cities. Fortunately, there's hope. Dr. Light took the liberty of upgrading Mega Man while he was out for the count and turned Rock's Mega Buster into the Mega Arm. Sure, it still shoots solar energy, but when charged, BAM! Mega Man can launch his fist directly at an enemy, dealing damage with a rocket-propelled punch. And nor are you going in it alone, because Dr. Light has also created you a feline companion called Tango, who can aid Mega Man in his battle against the Star Droids. And if you're anything like me, you'll probably never use him. Armed with your newfound fist, you must go and save Earth from the game's first 4 Star Droids, Mercury, Mars, Neptune and Venus, battling through 4 challenging stages to defeat the Star Droid at the end of it. It could just be that after Mega Man 3 everything seems a lot easier, but I generally think the difficulty of especially these first 4 stages are pretty easy on the player. With a whole host of some pretty cool looking enemies dotted around the stages, Mega Man 5 is nothing short of a visual delight. And this is completely disregarding that on Neptune stage, an incorrectly placed shot can affect the environment around you. A first at least for the Game Boy Mega Man titles, and something that really shakes things up a little. Once the first 4 Star Droids are defeated, as Wily's not in the picture, the mid-level stage isn't themed around the Doctor's domain, but instead, Minakuchi take a crack at a boss universally loved and loathed from the first NES title, the Yellow Devil. That's right, Terra 6 Dark Moon on you, his devil robot pet. Like the other devil robots in the series, Dark Moon consists of a huge bulbous frame and one single glowing eyeball. Like his predecessor, Dark Moon fires his body at the player in random order, hoping to shave off some of your health as it does so. He's also a good block taller than the Yellow Devil was, meaning he also bounces blocks around the stage, meaning dodging random blocks also needs to be met with precise timing. Once Terra's one-eyed monster is taken care of, and Earth is temporarily saved, Mega Man has Dr. Light upgrade his faithful companion Rush into a spaceship to launch a counter-offensive on the Star Droids, taking on Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto and Uranus in the process. Here the difficulty level of the game definitely increases to the highest levels used in Mega Man 4, but never comes close to the frustrations of 3. The level design here is also fun and visually appealing, with Saturn's level taking the prize for most difficult in this installment. Interestingly enough, I found myself not overly reliant on the boss weaknesses this time around in the Star Droid fights. For the most part I used the Mega Arm, not because it packs a punch, but because of its speed and reliability. Not to mention that simple boss patterns allow you to often pop off 4 shots before switching back to the defensive. Also hidden in these levels are 4 gemstones that, once gathered, allow Dr. Light to create a device called the Power Generator that cuts the cost of your special weapons in half. So, while some of them are definitely hidden away in often mysterious locations, they're definitely worth hunting down. This upgrade and many others can be bought in Dr. Light's lab between stages for Pete chips like in Mega Man 4. While the usual E-Tanks, extra lives, and the very handy energy balancer all return from the previous outings, there are also 2 additional power-ups from the Mega Arm: the Magnetic Hand and the Clobber Hand. The Magnetic Hand allows Mega Man to shoot unreachable items and pull them back towards himself, while the Clobber Hand simply grabs onto an enemy and squeezes them for some extra damage. Both are really effective, and I encourage you to buy them as soon as possible because they really help you out of some tough pinches. Once you're fully stocked on accessories and regenerative items, it's time to head off to the final showdown with Terra, who, despite being the leader of the Star Droids, is a bit of a pushover. Sure, his spark laser combined with his speed means that if you're going at this fight unfocused, you're going to get a rude awakening. But stick with it and eventually your fist will find its mark, blowing the Star Droid's leader into space dust. And that's it. All wrapped up in a neat little bow. The Star Droid's defeated and Mega Man can go back home. Except that the Star Droids have all been an elaborate ruse, and Wily was behind it all along. The crafty devil. I bet you didn't see that coming. It's at this point that Mega Man 5 actually manages to cross genres. By boarding Rush, your faithful flying companion, the game shifts from an action platformer to a rudimentary shooter, which, believe it or not, is a pretty relaxing break. For you see, it turns out dodging chicken nuggets in space is actually quite good fun. Don't worry if you're not into shmups, this really isn't a difficult section and doesn't last too long. But in knowing that Minakuchi also worked on the Game Boy Classic Solar Striker, I guess it's possible that they slipped this in as part of a tribute to their legacy on everyone's favourite Nintendo handheld. But if I was to guess, I'd say the team just probably has a thing for shooters. Once inside Wily's space station, prepare to have everything thrown at you. Not only are there some tricky run and gun sections from the get-go, but every couple of screens you're faced with a boss from a previous Game Boy title. Yeah, that's right, the Mega Man killers are back! And Minakuchi were even kind enough to bring Quint along for the ride. After dueling off against Enka, Punk and Ballad for the last time, it's back to another boss rush a la Mega Man 4. As I said previously, these Star Droids are a bit of a doddle, but be sure to nail Mercury as quick as you can, as his Grab Buster can milk you of all your hard-earned E-Tanks in no time at all if you get caught by it. Beating the Star Droid again will bring you face to face with Wily, who is perhaps the easiest incarnation of the Good Doctor in the whole series. His first 2 hand forms will give you no trouble at all. His second form can take some time to understand how to use his own bombs against him efficiently, while the third and final form is simply a matter of whittling down his health. But if only it were that simple. Destined to put an end to Mega Man once and for all, Wily reveals his evil plan and summons Sunstar, an ancient doomsday weapon from the time of the Star Droids, to defeat Mega Man and conquer the world in Wily's name. However, the robot betrays Wily, but still sees Mega Man as a threat to it reaching its goal of destroying the planet Earth. The stakes have never been higher, and this is a pretty difficult fight compared to the rest of the game. Sunstar's speed, aggressive attack patterns, and how weak even your Spark Chaser is against him will see you burning through multiple E-Tanks just to get him down. But keep at it and you'll manage. But for the love of God, don't return to lab if you need to continue, otherwise you'll need to start this whole section from the get-go. Once Sunstar's down, one overly dramatic cutscene later, and congratulations, you've completed Mega Man 5. In short, I really liked Mega Man 5. Its visuals, music and difficulty all fell into place for me, and I was able to tackle it head on without once feeling completely frustrated at a section or a boss fight. What's more is while the Star Droids weren't all that tough to beat, their originality and newness really offers a lot to an established formula. The game can be very text-heavy and in its dialogue very heavy-handed, something I'd argue doesn't need to be in a Mega Man game, but overall it really wasn't enough to take the shine off an otherwise great experience. Due to this game's obscene price, I would again recommend either a trip to the 3DS eShop or to import a Japanese cart of this one. While it won't challenge you as much as Mega Man 3 or 4, the 5th installment in the series really is a wonderful experience on the Nintendo Game Boy, and arguably the best. While this would be the last title Minakuchi Engineering developed for the Nintendo Game Boy, fortunately it wasn't their last dance with the Blue Bomber, as Minakuchi later developed Mega Man X3, a game that perhaps wouldn't be as great as it is if not for the portable titles that laid the groundwork. And that brings us to the end of another Boyographic, ladies and gentlemen, and of Mega Me. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please subscribe and share the videos around with people you think may be interested in Game Boy stuff. This is how the channel gets around. And why not check out some of our other great videos, such as the Boyographic series, where I look at the highs and lows of the Game Boy library one cart at a time. Or you can check out some Boy Curious videos, where I look at some bootlegs and oddities for the system. And, of course, that's not forgetting All the Glory! A series of Game Boy long plays where I play them through, cutting out all of the deaths, giving you none of the faff, but all of the glory. Until next week, guys, you can find me on Twitter @GameBoyle, and be sure, Game Boys and Girls, game on.